Welcome to On Health with Houston Methodist. I'm Zach Moore. I'm a photographer and editor here, and I'm also a longtime podcaster.
I'm Kim Rivera, Huston-Weber, and I'm a copywriter here at Houston Methodist.
And Kim, what is your skincare routine?
It's a lot simpler these days. I actually, after interviewing our expert, I am basically washing my face and making sure I'm putting SPF on every day.
What were you doing before?
I mean, I was always washing my face. I'm not a dirtbag, but, I think I was probably doing a step above what stereotypically people think men have terrible skincare routines. Like, what's your skincare
I find that an
routine,
overgeneralization, but you're absolutely correct at the same time. Before I lived with my wife, I pretty much took a shower. And I was like, well, I'm clean, right? I'm good. Like soap, water, like what else do you need? Now, when I was younger, I did have acne. I had some bad acne when I was younger. So, I mean, when I had that, I was like doing extra things and whatnot.
Same.
But, and occasionally I still get a pimple every now and then. I thought that was going to be over with when I turned, I don't know, maybe 30, but I still get an occasional pimple, unfortunately. But I do some moisturizer. Like my wife got me onto that. There's other things that she's bought for me that sit in the things that she bought them for me in, and I very rarely use them. But no, I don't get up early and do a whole thing before I go to sleep. And I don't want to put stuff on my face before I go to sleep because like I'm a night showerer, so I want to be clean, I'm like nice and like, I don't want extra stuff.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm kind of with you. And I feel like I've started and stopped a lot of skincare routines over time because, being a woman, there's a lot of marketing out there of different skincare trends and things to try that will, take the years off your face or whatever.
Take the years off your face.
Like whatever influencers are saying online. And, I think that's a big reason why I wanted to do the episode is I think I'm a person of a certain age now and I'm inundated with ads about skincare routines and retinol products. So just things that are supposed to help you age gracefully.
Yeah. It's definitely a whole industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of things out there they want to make you think you need that maybe you don't need. And this is what we talk about with our expert today.
Yeah. We spoke with Annie Christensen, a medical esthetician with Houston Methodist, and she had a lot of good advice for us.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm here today with Annie Christensen, medical esthetician with Houston Methodist. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
At least to me, it seems like we're kind of living in this golden age of skincare. You can walk down the aisles of any pharmacy or cosmetics store, and you're just met with any kind of product you could think of in terms of like, oh, I want to focus on wrinkles, or oh, I want to focus on skin brightening. There's just all these different options. And I think with the rise of influencer culture, there's also no shortage of voices out there telling you how you should be doing your skincare, what kind of procedures you should be getting. Just there's a lot to sift through. So I really want to talk about anti-aging trends, but I also really want to talk about how people can just have healthy skin no matter how many times they've been around the sun. So I'd like to start off by asking, if you were to distill an everyday skincare routine down to its bare minimum parts, what would that look like? And, if you want to talk about, once you get to the point where you want to add some anti-aging steps, I'd be curious to hear about those too.
You've kind of hit everything that's happening right now. So right now, I feel like the trend is kind of anti-aging versus healthy skin. And you mentioned that. They kind of both go together hand in hand, of course. So, if you just want healthy skin and to take care of your skin, boil it down to just minimum, wash your face every day, and put your sunscreen on. That's the bare minimum. You've got to do those things just to have healthy skin because, it doesn't matter if you're really thinking about the look of it. We need to be healthy. We keep a healthy body. We eat right. We exercise. Taking care of your skin is part of that. Then if you are looking at kind of an anti-aging sort of look at your skin, and this is for any age, you always want to start off with washing the skin using an antioxidant type product in the morning because that helps to prevent sun damage, a moisturizer if your skin needs it, and a sunscreen. And then at night is when you want to, again, wash, use some sort of an exfoliation, which can be a retinol, a glycolic, a salicylic, something that works for your skin type. And I'll be saying that many times today, probably, and a moisturizer. And that should be your evening routine.
You kind of surprised me that it's wash your face and SPF.
Yes. If you just want to do the minimum, you've got to do those things because sunscreen is going to be your biggest anti-ager that there is. All the other things are great and they're going to definitely do something if you want to do them. If you don't want to do anything, please put your sunscreen on.
I mean, I feel like that's like the big headline, right?
Yes. Because we're getting damaging rays right here, sitting under these lights. You get them from your computer. You get them all over the place. So yeah, you think you're not in the sun, but sitting next to a window, it's bouncing in. So you really have to protect yourself.
You know, I think I've always thought, oh, I'm going to leave the house, so now I'm going to put it on. But
right. But sometimes you forget. You're trying to run out of the house too fast, or you forget, or you're going to wear makeup. Well, you got to have it on before that. So when you get ready in the morning, wash your face. If you're going to do some skincare, put that on. And then after that, put your sunscreen on. And then you're ready.
You talked about the sort of the different steps. I heard you mention retinol, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot. And I've been thinking about it. I saw something online. It was a joke about, how younger and younger people are doing these really elaborate skincare routines, some of them which have retinol and just these kind of heavy hitter skincare treatments at really young ages, like even college age. And, I think the joke was, and I think the joke was, I don't remember drinking water in college, and I'm probably closer to that than the really heavy skincare routine. But if someone's concerned about aging gracefully, is there an age you should start doing this? And is there an age where it's maybe like, well, the ship sailed, like there's nothing that can be done. You're going to have the crow's feet or whatever.
Right. No, there's not a too young and there's not a too old. So you can always take care of your skin just like you can always go to the gym, no matter how young or old you are. I know this year, the big trend for like 8 to 10-year-olds was getting skincare for Christmas. So I was putting together skincare packages for, yes, very young age. But it's a good habit, just like at a young age, it's a good habit to, get out and do your exercise every day, to learn to eat right every day. So it is okay to start young and do these things. You do have to think about what you're doing because when you mention retinol, our skin doesn't stop producing collagen until we hit our mid-20s. Now, at that point, it does stop producing collagen or slow down, rather. So at that point, that's where we do need to get something to rev that up. And that can be with our antioxidants, which are vitamin C's, and our retinols, because that's going to kind of break down the skin. It's like the exercise for the skin is how I kind of put it.
We really stopped making collagen in our 20s?
Yes. Sad but true. It slows down. But even if I have someone that comes into me and, they're 55 and they're like, I've had good skin and I haven't really done anything and I want to start doing it, great. We can still start at any age and we can rev that up. So again, I will take it back to working out because that makes sense to a lot of people that even if you're older and you start working out at an older age, you can tell. You can still build your muscles. You can still get healthy. You can change your diet. You can change your skincare.
So you'd mentioned vitamin C, retinol, and I've noticed a lot online because kind of at the top, I had mentioned that influencer culture seems to be so pervasive. I'm getting so many ads for things of people saying, you should do this, you should not do this. And one of the things that I keep seeing mentioned is tretinoin. Did I get that
Yes,
correct?
you did.
Is that in line with retinol? It really seems to be the it ingredient. And I'm sure there's been lots of it ingredients over time, but
Yeah.
I would just love to hear your opinion on, since so much of this stuff is being touted as like the next big thing, should you start using it as part of your routine?
The prescription is called tretinoin. So if you do get a prescription, that's generally what's going to be on the box. And there are different levels of that. So that depends on, what's good for your skin as well. But over the counter, products with retinol or different derivatives of it, there are so many out there and they are very good. So I think that we don't need to go to those tretinoins, which are too hard to use, honestly. If you put that directly on your skin, it can be very irritating to the skin. They're just very hard to use. We've heard of sandwiching and, all these different trends on how to use it. Well, why not just get a bottle where you just put a pump in your fingers and put it on? You don't have to do all that. And so they're out there. Over the counter, you can get very good products without needing that.
Is sandwiching like slugging? Or is that different?
So sandwiching is just where you put a layer of a moisturizer on, then you put your tretinoin on, and then you put your moisturizer on top. I have always, and I've been in this business for a lot of years, so I have always said, put your tretinoin in your palm, put some moisturizer in your palm, mix them up. Because when I started, that's all we had. There was no over-the-counter retinols available. So we did have to use the tretinoin. And we used it, fine. But now we don't have to.
So it's kind of more about finding a retinol that works with your skin.
And you said the key right there to all of this. What is your skin? That's the thing. You see all this stuff on social media, you read things, and you think, oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. You think you need everything. Of course, I do too. But you, you need to then, kind of dial it back and go, but wait a minute. How old am I? What does my skin need? Because some of these things you may not need. I want to use, this glamorous moisturizer that sounds like it's going to make me look amazing. But guess what? I have oily skin and I break out. I cannot use that. So you have to use what's correct for your skin.
I'm curious to know when someone comes in to see you and they say, hey, I saw this thing on TikTok. I saw it on Instagram. What has been the best thing you've heard come out of that conversation, and what has been, the stop this immediately that you've encountered in your practice?
I never say stop immediately. Mainly because I can go down that rabbit hole too. You just sit there and you watch and you watch and you watch. And so things do sound fun and exciting. But what I will tell my younger clients, because that is, heck, I'm not young, so I'm doing it too. So, we're all doing it.
Yeah.
So, it's just that you really have to think about what your skin needs. So it is kind of fun to think about what's out there, see what's out there. What are other people doing? Am I missing something? So it's okay to look at it, but you really have to kind of make sure you're getting what you need. Because I have people that come in and, I just bought this. And I'll say, where'd you get it? Instagram. And so, or they'll bring me in what they just bought and said, can I use this? And, normally it's all good as long as it's for their skin type. Now, I have had people bring me in or tell me about something and I'll say, yeah, that's a great device, but it's not for you.
Interested in adding retinoids, aka vitamin A, to your skincare routine? Whether you use prescription grade or over-the-counter retinol products, specialists agree that wearing sunscreen is mandatory. Using retinoids can make the skin dry or irritated, which can make getting your average sunburn worse, but the jury is still out on whether retinoids cause sun sensitivity. Many studies have explored whether retinoid use causes photosensitivity, when a drug makes it more likely for your skin to burn when exposed to UV rays. The research isn't definitive either way, so that's likely why the FDA, skincare companies, and experts alike recommend using SPF when using retinoids. And anyone who spends time in a cosmetic shop or pharmacy knows that skincare doesn't come cheap. Catching too many UV rays causes retinoids to break down, so the active ingredients in your pricey anti-aging products will deactivate, turning that effective treatment into hope in a bottle. To make sure you're getting the most out of retinoid use, make sure you are using retinoid treatments at night before bed to get the most from your products. Applying a broad spectrum sunscreen, minimum SPF 30, every single day, no matter the season, weather, or if you'll be inside all day. Trying to avoid peak sun exposure during the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. whenever possible. Hanging out in shady spots when you're outdoors. Better yet, consider wearing a hat and sunglasses when outside to protect your face from UV rays.
So there's been a lot of telehealth startups that have popped up in the wake of the pandemic. And I think one of the industries where I've noticed this the most is in dermatology. Dermatology startups are just everywhere online, but maybe that's just because I'm in a certain age group. Many of these startups claim to treat several conditions, whether it's acne or aging. They offer you a quick appointment with a dermatologist, and then they prescribe products that are formulated by the startup. These formulations are usually mixed with more than one FDA-approved generic drug, or there's a key regulated drug that is mixed with unregulated but beneficial skincare ingredients. So a lot of these startups are claiming that they're democratizing prescription-grade skincare. What do you think about these startups, and what could some of the potential risks be?
First, a little bit on the telehealth. I think that is amazing in our practices. I do use it, and I think it's very helpful. It's very hard to get into a dermatologist, so sometimes if you can get in to see one and you need to, that's a great way to go. So I do, just coming from the medical space, I do really agree with that. Now, I have seen some of these companies through my patients that have come in and said they have, they're thinking about this or they have already used it. And I'll always just do my little homework with them and kind of look it up and see what you think. And that's just like anything. If you're going to get a new roof on your house, you're going to do your homework. So you've got to do your homework and just make sure that it is something that does look good and healthy and safe for you to try. And again, that it's for your skin. But if it's helping you to see a physician and you were not able to, because does take about 6 months sometimes to get into a dermatology office, and you don't want to wait that when we're talking about skin. So, this can really help. So, I think it's an okay thing. Prescriptions are a good way to go, again, as long as it is for your skin type. But do watch out. I mean, with anything you can get taken advantage of.
This might be kind of a simple question, but I've been around the sun a few times and I've tried and discontinued I don't know how many different skincare routines. How do you really know when something is for your skin?
Mm-hmm. Skin changes. Through our life, our skin will change all the time. So finding something and sticking with it while your skin is sort of in that mode. And how do you know? I mean, your skin feels good. You don't feel dry. It's not sort of causing any texture changes or breaking out, or, it's soothing something, or it's, it's taking care of what you need. So that's how you really know that it's right for your skin. And some people do have a better notion of what that means. And if you don't, then go to someone that can help you. So, whether that be your dermatologist or an esthetician, I do really promote estheticians because I think they can really help you and spend a little bit more time with you to figure out your skin and what would be the proper products for you. Most of us do have products in our offices. I do have medical grade products in my office that you can only get in a medical office. And sometimes that is the case when you're going to a medical office. But I do tend to, stay up on every product that's out there. So over the counter products, whether you get it at the drugstore, at the department store, at an esthetician office that may not be a medical, those are still going to all be very good products. Depending on your skin, sometimes you have a more difficult skin that needs a little bit more. And sometimes that can only be for a short amount of time that you're just going to go sort of learn how to work with a product. A client that has rosacea, that's not going away. You're always going to have it, but you need to know what it is that's going to make that work on your skin. And then you can build your other skincare around that.
In thinking about working with someone like an esthetician, what are some of the treatments that you can get in-house somewhere versus, I think there's a lot of trial and error that can happen when you're just going to the pharmacy by yourself.
Very true.
I'd love to hear, what that journey of working with an esthetician would be like for someone.
Mm-hmm. So most estheticians have been really trained to, analyze your skin and help you to figure out what your skin type is, and then what products and what treatments are going to be best for you. And I always look at, what's your goal? Why are you here? What is it that you want to see different? Are you sort of in your mid 40s and you want to really work on anti-aging and tightening the skin? So, there's microneedling, there's chemical peels, there's lasers that we use to kind of brighten the skin, work on capillaries and redness in the skin. So those are things that I'm doing all day long. Microneedling treatments, laser treatments, which is like the IPL to work on dark spots and redness, and chemical peels. Love chemical peels. They're kind of old school, but they're so good. So don't leave those behind. And then I always help people with their home care. How often are you able to come in? So then I can figure out what kind of things I need to send you home with. Because a lot of people don't want to come. I'm in the med center. It's hard to get here. And Houston is giant. So, someone may take an hour and a half to get here. So that may not be a journey they want to do every month. There are so many things you can do at home. So whether that be, your own little microcurrent devices, chemical peeling pads, they're just great stuff at home.
Again, I'm a person who lives online, so I've definitely seen microcurrent devices as something that is kind of out there in terms of an at-home device. So whenever I see them, I'm always kind of wondering if you're just low-dose electrocuting yourself. Maybe that's not the way to look at it.
Feels that way. Did mine last night.
So the device can come with a pretty hefty price tag. So could you talk through the science with it? Is it something worth doing?
Yeah, so there's several different ones that are out there. Your microcurrent really works on the muscle and tightening the skin. It can help to kind of move the lymphatic system around as well, which is I really think is very, very healthy for the skin. That's something that I do a lot of is lymphatic massage. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a side note here, but like post-surgical in our office, because we're head and neck surgery, I do that lymphatic massage. So a lot of these home devices do help to move your lymphatic or just get it pumped. And so that's something that we don't talk about a lot, but it is something to think about. Your microcurrent tends to tighten the skin so you can help your jawline to look more firm. You can help your cheekbones to stand out a little bit more. And I think they work. I mean, they look great. The technology has been around for a long time. We've used a lot of these things in the treatment room for many years. Take the LED lights that you see everywhere now, and those definitely are a little pricey, but they're so worth it. And because people will ask me about that all the time. And I'll say, I have been using this LED light on you for years. And they're like, you have? So yes, it's something that is definitely worthwhile. So your red is for anti-aging, your blue is more for acne. So bottom line, get one that has both of those in it. Then there's some other lights, which are great, but those two are the main ones that you need.
I remember seeing one of the masks online, and I showed the photo of it to my husband, and I was like, would you be weirded out if I wore this for 20 to 30 minutes a day? And he was like, what is that? That is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
But it's good to know, because that's another huge thing online are these various masks, and the prices can really vary. And so you said red and blue.
Mm-hmm. And length of time, the price sort of goes along with that. So your less expensive ones, you are going to have to wear a little bit longer because I think they've used less light bulbs in it. The more expensive ones, you can actually wear for only 3 to 7 minutes.
Oh.
So yeah. So it can make a difference in, say what your pocketbook looks like, but also what kind of time do you have to wear them?
Yeah.
And they are quite bright. So you have to wear a little bit of eye cover in them. A lot of them don't come with that. So you may have to add that to it.
Are they LED light masks?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They're all LEDs. Yeah.
The light masks, the microcurrent, those seem to be kind of worth it.
Yeah. Those are the ones that I really like. So there's like a micro needling sort of roller thing. Again, that's been around for a long time and people do swear by it, and you can get your products in a little bit better with that. That's something that I personally have not really felt is necessary at home. I think other things can do what that one does. But if you like it, great. I mean, it's not bad. Also, there's like just the plain jade rollers and your gagua stones. And so those, again, have been around forever, and they're sort of doing the same thing as your microcurrent. They're helping to kind of move that lymphatic flow, but also you're kind of working on your jawline and your cheekbones and that sort of thing. So those are great too. So it just depends on what you like and what you're going to use, because that's it. We can buy a lot of stuff, but if it sits around, it's not doing any good.
Yeah, I think that kind of touches on another thing where, and I've been as guilty of this as anybody else, that, we're all kind of looking for this lightning magic in a bottle, right? That one product that's just going to make things work out for us in terms of, whatever we're trying to correct for. So when you're thinking about embarking on any kind of skincare routine, or maybe you want to try any kind of treatments, in-office treatments, what amount of time should you be giving yourself to see results?
Now, that's a good question. I think it depends on what we're trying to work on, because some things can correct much easier than other things. So I don't know that there's really a time frame on a lot of those, but you do tend to really see where something may be headed within a few months. So you can see, either the brightening of the skin or the smoothing of the skin, all of those in a few months. I think 4 weeks can be a little soon, but a lot of times we think we see it.
Yeah, because I do think that there's a lot of hope.
Exactly.
That wishful thinking maybe that can come in when we're trying something out for the first time. But hearing the phrase like it could take months is important, because I think we can all be guilty of, you try something out, it's not necessarily happening as fast enough as you might want to, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to be done with this.
I'm done. It's not working. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really can be working. Although I surprise myself so many times. I'll have, do a treatment on someone and, they're scheduled to come back in a month, and they come back in that month, and I have not been seeing them every day. So that's a big difference. When you're seeing yourself every day, you may not see the change, but when I see them in a month, I'm like, oh my gosh, that worked so much better than I expected. That was great. So yeah, things do work. It's just how we visually see it sometimes.
Yeah, so you kind of have to commit to the vision. And probably there's an element of we're all sort of our own worst critics sometimes.
Absolutely.
Especially with maybe those tiny things that no one else notices but bug us.
But us, yes.
So in terms of other devices, could you walk me through what epidermal planing is?
Yes, that is one of my favorite things. And I do that with every single treatment I do. So no matter what you're coming in for, I start off with that. And I've been doing that for many, many, many years. It's amazing for the skin. So it's a light scraping of the skin where I get off a dead skin layer, but it also takes off a little bit of the sort of peach fuzz, to say, on your skin. So your skin just feels so soft, smooth. Your products can penetrate really well after it. And then over the past few years, there are many home devices that have come out, and they are actually very good. So from a $5 one that I thought, I'm going to pick this up and just see how well this $5 one works, it was great. And that's what I personally use at home every day, is that one that's just over the counter that I got at the drugstore for $5. But now you can get some that are, you have to plug in, and they're a little easier to use, and they feel good in your hand. And those are great too, because people are scared of cutting themselves. Neither one of those can you really cut yourself. So that's what's nice. But I think that is a great anti-age product because it exfoliates the skin from the top, and it also gets off the fuzz. And it doesn't make it come back heavier. People think I'm going to grow a beard if I shave it off. No, you're not. We would all be rich if we could do that, because there would be no bald people. There would be. So.
No, that's, yeah.
It's an old wives' tale.
Oh, yeah. No, I think my mom even told me that at some point.
Yeah.
Something that you mentioned as an in-office treatment, microneedling. So what is that? And because I'll admit, just the phrase.
The word needle.
Yeah, it kind of scares me a little. So could you walk me through what that is?
Yes, microneedling is a really great treatment. Again, it's something that I've been doing for many years. It's anti-aging, yet it can also break up, say, acne scarring, can help calm down an acne once it's sort of started to heal. So I use it a lot in that sort of realm. And now we have microneedling with radio frequency. So at the tips of those needles, once those needles deploy into the skin, they shoot off a radio frequency, which also works at building the collagen. So it's very anti-aging as well. So the original one, which I still use as well, depending on what I'm working on, because we're causing micro injury to the skin, when the skin gets injured, it says, I'm being injured. Let me build new skin, grow more collagen or build more collagen in the skin. So that's really what we're doing. And again, back to the working out, you use weights to kind of break down that muscle to build up the muscle. So it all kind of works the same way. So the skin does the same thing. So that's why we're constantly kind of breaking down the skin. That's what your retinol is doing, your tretinoin is doing. It's breaking down the skin so that the skin says, oh, I'm being traumatized. I need to create more skin. So that's what we're doing. But back to the microneedling. The microneedling helps to firm the skin because it is building that collagen. It's a really great treatment. I, work with several doctors that do, facelifts and brow lifts and neck lifts and all of that. But they do, in the beginning, they'll say, let's do this instead. Let's see if we can get you to where you want to be. Maybe we don't need to go the surgical route because we can get such good results with it. And also, say you have had surgery done, this is going to help to kind of protect your investment. So we're going to keep that skin firm and tight afterwards. So it's a really good treatment for all skin types and any age.
So you broke my heart earlier by saying that we stopped producing collagen so much earlier than I would have imagined. And so another thing out there that you see quite a bit are collagen supplements, whether it's powders you can put in a smoothie or just supplements that you take in pill form. Is
Yes.
Is
Yes.
do these work? Are they worth the money? Because some, depending on the type you get, I guess in terms of everything, there's a scale, but
Yeah, they can be expensive, depending on what route you go. You can get them in little liquid daily shot forms. You can just go to, like a big box store and get like a powder form that you can put in your smoothie or your coffee every day. I do one of the powder ones in my coffee every morning. And yes, I do believe in them. And two, as we get older, they're helping out with your joints and, other things. So it's not just your skin that they're working on. So I do really think that they're valid. So, because we have collagen everywhere in our body. So it's not just our faces that we're seeing it help. So those I think are very valuable.
So we've talked a lot about the trends that happen online, but let's take it in real life for a second. So there are tons of spas and places that you can go to get skincare treatments, facials, like what have you. If someone is interested in kind of exploring a skincare journey and they're looking for a place to go, what are some of the red flags and what are some of the green flags when you're researching somewhere to go?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of different areas that you can choose from. So I think it kind of boils back to what's going on with your skin and what do you need. So I love going to a spa and getting a facial and having a massage and doing the whole thing. Am I expecting them to fix whatever's going on my face? No, but it feels amazing. So those are fine. Now, if you do have a concern with your skin, say you have acne or rosacea or a sensitive skin for some other reason, that may not be the best thing for you if it's just kind of what I call, a fluffy facial, because that can irritate your skin. But, in saying that, there's so many other things you could do at the spa. So if you are going, have a good time. But if we need to work on our skin, then you got to do your research, talk to your friends. We can go online and kind of, Google around and find out what's out there that can work on your specific skin needs, and interview the place where you're going. Okay. I see people all the time for a consultation. And I myself, I don't charge anything for my consultations. You come in, we get about 20 minutes. We talk about your skin. I talk about what we're going to, what I think is going to be good for you, what your skin type might be, and what we can do. And then you can decide, is this the right place for you or not? And that's really what you should kind of look for. Someone that's going to really be interested in your skin type and help you with your skin needs.
I think there is a lot of pressure to consider what we look like as we age. And I feel like there's another camp that's, they want to age naturally or as low intervention as possible. While I think a lot of this stuff sounds cool, and I'll probably be talking to you after about, what's up? Maybe I'll make an appointment with you. But for those who are listening to this and thinking, I don't know that I want to be doing all of this stuff. I just want to approach it from as natural as possible. What can that look like for a person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aging gracefully and naturally is actually what I prefer, to be honest. As I said before, I work with some amazing plastic surgeons. I don't think I really want to do that. But that being said, you never know what you're going to think of in 10 years or whatever. So yeah, we have to look at what do we think today? How do we look? Everyone is on sort of a different journey on what they kind of want to do. Some people wear makeup, some people don't. Some people want to have this big, long skincare regime and some don't. that's just being you. So be you. That's what you want to do. Find out what it is, because I see people from all, from just, keeping it natural. They come in just for a nice, healthy facial once a month, to people that are doing all sorts of things and are on their third facelift and still doing, all these things. There's everything in between. Just find your lane and enjoy it. There's so many things that you can do out there. And I think that we have come to a time where it's okay to say, I don't want to wear all that makeup. I don't want to have my lips filled. I don't want to do all that. Then don't. Because you look great no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Finding a way to make it work for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. You still need to wash and put your sunscreen on, but
Annie, thank you so much. I feel like I've learned so much about the spectrum of what exists for skincare, and especially with anti-aging treatments. So this has been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me do this. It's so much fun, and I love to get the information out there. I think there's so much information, and I think everybody deserves it.
So, Kim, I feel better that Annie recommended you just got to wash your face, right? I mean, I've been doing that. So I'm good. I don't need all those extra products, right?
Yeah. I think her message about you can engage with skincare as much as you would like to, or as little as you want to, really encouraging, because especially I think for women, we are constantly being marketed to have you need to have a 15-step skincare routine. Mm-hmm. And, you don't to have healthy skin.
Well, I think another factor is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't wear makeup. Women wear makeup, right?
Yeah.
And you're putting all this stuff on your face. You got to take it off anyway. You got to do a wash, and then you're adding other extra things. So it requires an extra level of cleanliness to remove everything, because you don't want stuff there too long. And it's just, there's a lot that goes to it, right?
Yeah.
Now, to that point, though, if you do have a certain skin thing you're working on, right? If you want to try and re-moisturize or rejuvenate your skin, then you absolutely should look out for some skincare products that could help you achieve that goal, right?
Oh, yeah. And what I really loved was she talked about how we start losing collagen basically when we're in our 20s, and it just, you keep losing it, but it's not over,
Right. It's never too late to start. Like, I like what you guys mentioned that, where it's like the gym or a diet, where it's like, yeah, it's if you start now, you can turn the ship around. Right?
Yeah. And the idea that you can start as young as you want to, but it's more about having a routine, right? Mm-hmm. Like going to the gym, because, I think sometimes skincare gets lumped in with being more luxurious, or perhaps something that is, I don't know, self-care, wellnessy.
Yeah.
But, it is your skin, and it's taking care of yourself and your body. And so it's time well spent too.
Yeah, I don't want to call it a stigma, but I know what you're talking about. Or it's like, oh, skincare, I'm not one of those people. Or I think some people might feel that way. No, it's like brushing your teeth, or getting your hair maintained. Like it's a part of your body they need to keep up with. And we take it for granted because it's there. But it's just something that definitely in the long run, you will see the benefits of it. And again, we had a whole podcast with Annie about sunscreen before, and you guys touched on that as well. She again reiterates, wear a little sunscreen every day, which that's a struggle for me. But I did find, speaking of all these moisturizers and things, like having a moisturizer sunscreen combination, like sometimes I know, especially if I'm going to be outside, I know, like for whatever reason, for however amount of time, like I'm going to put some of that on. And I have noticed a big difference, because I've noticed that when I don't, and I don't know if it's because I'm losing collagen or whatever the combination is with my skin, because, everybody's skin is different, as you guys discussed. But like, if I don't do any of that, I'll come inside and I'll be outside for just an hour or two, and I'll be red, like not like a burn, but a little something. And then I'll have flaky skin because, everybody knows how the sunburn works. And you can avoid all that just by putting a little bit of sunscreen and moisturizer on before you go outside.
Yeah, I know, we talked a lot about using retinol or retinoids to kind of reverse time, as it were. I think it's really telling that SPF, if anti-aging skincare is important to you, SPF is always going to be your most important tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, and I feel like I've always had kind of a baby face, so that, I mean, kind of shy to like, oh yeah, let me put on stuff that makes me look even younger. No. I'm gonna wait till like, oh, are you starting to look old now? Oh, maybe I'll stay in the space for a little bit, and then I'll try to reverse that. I don't know if that's the right approach or not, but that's just where I'm coming from with it. But I am kind of getting to that age where like, yeah, this stuff does start to affect you. You see the side effects of it all, and let's, like everything else we talk about here, be preemptive about it.
Yeah. I think men get a little bit more of a pass than women do. Like, I don't know. Are you seeing lots of 10-step routines on your Instagram feed?
No, I have not seen that. No, I get targeted on other things. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good.
What those things are, I'm not going to tell you. And then wrapping up, I did want to mention, I was rather surprised, and it sounded like you were too in your conversation with Annie, about the age of kids now that are getting skincare routines. Like she's saying that she's making packages for, Christmas presents for kids who are like 8, 9, 10 years old, right?
Yeah. And I think it's just how pervasive wellness culture is. And it's kind of why I wanted to explore this topic. And, we talk about it in other episodes this season where the influencer culture is starting people young on these different messages, and whether those messages are good or not is to be seen. But, with Annie saying that you're never too young for a healthy skincare routine is positive, but, maybe those 8, 9, 10-year-olds don't need to be using anti-aging skincare.
We'll draw the line there, right?
Yeah, right?
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of On Health with Houston Methodist. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We drop episodes Tuesday mornings, so until then, stay tuned and stay healthy.